Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. In this video, we're going to take a closer look at the fragrance Baie 19 from Labo as a continuation from my previous review for the fragrance Another 13 and the unboxing for the Discovery set. If you haven't checked that out, I'm going to leave a link down in the description box below. Go ahead, check it out, like, comment, subscribe, let me know what you feel about the fragrance. Alright, continuing with the introduction, as Labo puts it on their site, the truth is Baie 19 should be called Water 19. It smells like nothing, but this has a crisp, wet, drenched feel, and also the word for these feelings as per them is Petrichor. Now this is what one feels when the first rain hits the soil, and there's an amalgamation of different factors that go into play while bringing out the smell that's, I quite so frankly feel, very nostalgic. And one of the things that they've tried to do, and I really appreciate this again about this brand, is to go about the perfume with a feeling and an emotion. So when you attach an emotion to something as strong as a smell, it really says a lot about how you conceive perfume making. Now moving on with the notes breakdown, I'm not going to delve too much into it because the complete list of breakdown is always available on Fragrantica or Base Notes. Links down in the description box below. The other thing that I would want to say is the fragrance category, and this one is an ozonic fragrance. So it is a kind of interesting take that I came up with, comparing this to a fragrance that I previously owned by the name of Narciso Rodriguez for him, the EDT one. So if any one of you who's familiar with that, it has a commonality with this one in the fact that it's ozonic, and it's an ozonic musk. So there's this one, and then the one that I've reviewed previously, Another 13, which is a musk. That one kind of sits between the ballpark of these two. Of course, by no means they are similar fragrances, but the category or the umbrella under which the smell goes is ozonic, and I would say it's kind of ozonic slash botanic. So does remind you of like the Petrichor feeling that they spoke about or they mentioned in their description. Does remind you of gardens or the outdoors or a cabin in the woods, for example. Moving on with the performance, I put a spray right before I started doing this review, and it's kind of settling down. Trying this on right now. Let's give it a wearing and see how it feels. Of course, I've done a previous wearing for this to let you know how it performs over time and on skin, what the evolution's like. But the initial burst is very minty, has that menthol freshness or somewhat like a herbal tea, and has basil, which is medicinal. That's what gives it kind of a medicinal facet. Also reminds you of the drink gin and tonic as it goes into the mid and towards the dry down. That's an interesting facet for me, and that's what I love the most about this fragrance. It has the right kind of fusion between dry and wet, and they have very nicely crafted this fragrance to sit there and named it and made the whole story around the fact that it's watery, airy, crisp, but it's also got the dirt from patchouli, and it's also got the herbaceousness. So I would say it is a ozonic slash medicinal herbaceous. Reminds you, if I was to think of a place, it reminds you of an apothecary or a botanical place, a garden of some manner. It does tend to lean a tad feminine in my opinion, but then again, it's always unisex with fragrances. so anyone could pull this off. Uh, Moving on with the performance of this one, like all the other Le Labo fragrances, this does not disappoint. It's an easy 6+ hours. I would say somewhere around 6 to 8 hours on my skin. I have given it a previous wearing like all the other fragrances before I do a review, and also tried them out on a testing paper and some of my clothes. Um, would definitely say that being an ozonic fragrance, like mentioned before, would perform better with your skin chemistry, and always wear it on skin and then a few sprays on your clothing. The projection is good. I think it does project an arm's length, and it creates a kind of nice scent bubble that's airy and light, and you feel woodsy, airy, crisp, and light with this one. That brings me to the end of this review, and as a conclusion, I would conclude with something called a gift guide slash persona type. So, who is this fragrance for? Of course, it's for everyone, goes without saying, but I would recommend this fragrance if you are planning to gift it for someone who is a writer, or someone who's pensive, someone who has a strong thought emotion. It goes with that kind of persona in my head. The colors that I would complement this one with is definitely lighter tones of grays, whites, and beige. And finally, the weather conditions. I think it would be worn in transition times of spring, certainly, because it is a good rain fragrance or a rainy day fragrance, but not the winter kind of rainy day. It's a more spring slash autumn rains kind of day. Could be workable in the summertime as well. And so I'm going to conclude this review. I hope you like the content. I think it's an interesting find to connect fragrances and their categories, or different smells, and form a connection point. Does that happen with you? Let me know in the comments down below. That could be an interesting conversation. And on that note, wherever you are, have a good day or a good night. Take care. Be signing off. Bye bye. Thank you for watching.